There's a new kind of food fear taking over the internet, and it's centered around this: the glucose spike. Everywhere you look, the message is that if your blood sugar rises after a meal, you're damaging your body, aging faster, and putting yourself at risk. It's turning a simple meal into a test you can fail, and it's causing a lot of anxiety. So first, let's be clear. A spike in your blood sugar after eating carbs is a normal, healthy, and necessary response. Think of it like a car engine. When you're going up a hill, the engine revs. This isn't a sign that your engine is broken, it's a sign that it's responding to a demand. A glucose spike is the exact same thing. So when should you actually pay attention? The real concern isn't after an isolated spike. It's a persistent pattern of spikes that are too high, last too long, or happen too frequently. And the fear around this isn't baseless. There's actually a real reason for it. When your glucose is chronically elevated, it can lead to things like oxidative stress, which is cellular damage, chronic inflammation, or advanced glycation end products, which can mess up nerves and blood vessels and cause lots of other problems. But, and this is the most important point in this entire video, this damage is not happening because you enjoyed a bowl of pasta. The result is from a system that is chronically malfunctioning. And this is where people get caught up in the numbers, trying to stay under 140 or 180. But the truth is, for a healthy person, we don't have a clear definition of a problematic spike. Those numbers come up from diabetes research, and while we can probably agree that routinely hitting 180 isn't ideal, we simply have no idea if a spike to 140 is an issue at all in someone who's healthy. Anyone who tells you otherwise is getting ahead of the evidence. So a much better way to think about this is like a bouncing ball analogy. A healthy response is like a tennis ball. It bounces up, then quickly settles down. A dysregulated system, or someone who has insulin resistance, it's like a super ball on concrete. It bounces erratically and takes a long time to stop. It's that chaotic pattern, not the single bounce, that causes stress on the system over time. So even with all that said, if you're still worried about your big blood sugar spikes, there are some simple things you can do to help blunt them. The best part is you don't need an expensive gadget. The most powerful tools are simple, free habits. So first, you can take a post-meal walk. A simple 10 to 20-minute walk after eating is incredibly effective. Your muscles act like a sponge for glucose, soaking up the sugar from your bloodstream to use as fuel. Second, you can use a food order trick. So eating your vegetables or protein before your carbs can significantly blunt the glucose spike, as the fiber and protein act like a buffer, slowing everything down. And third, the biggest lever of them all, sleep and stress. One bad night's sleep or a single high-stress day may lead to higher glucose levels, and so managing these is absolutely fundamental. So let's bring this all home. The goal isn't a perfectly flat glucose line. It's to build a resilient and responsive system so you can have a wide variety of food in your diet. This leads to the final question: do you need a CGM for health? Do I need to constantly check my sugar? Well, for most people, the answer is a clear no. Now, to be clear, if you find a CGM insightful and it doesn't cause you anxiety, that's great. For some, it's a fantastic tool. My goal is to simply free you from the idea that you have to do this to be healthy, because the path to a healthy life is built on habits. Focusing on eating a health-promoting diet, getting good sleep, decreasing your stress, and getting regular exercise will have a far bigger impact on your health than obsessing over a number on a screen that may or may not actually matter. So focus on the habits, not the hype, and enjoy your food without fear. If you want a much deeper dive, I have a full podcast episode where I break it all down. You can click on that video right here to watch that.